Okay, who is ready to plan for the new month? In today's video, I will be sharing with you my routine when it comes to monthly planning as a working mom. If you have watched any of my previous videos related to planning, you know that I like to plan my days a week ahead. So I kind of plan week at a time. However, at the end of each month, what I like to do is do a monthly planning session. And in that planning session, I like to look at what I have done in the past month, how did that planning work out for me, what I need to change and adjust for the next month. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. So before we start with the topic, make sure that you are subscribed down below. Click on that notification button. It's completely free, but it really helps me out to make sure that this video gets shown to more people. If you are new here, my name is Marta, and on my channel, you're gonna find a lot of content about time and house management. Because as working moms, I feel like if we are trying to create that work-life balance or just balance in general, those two areas are key. The way we manage our time and manage our household are gonna let us simplify a lot of things, make them a routine, and help us create our own version of life balance that we want. So let's get started with today's topic. So the planner that I use is a life planner from Erin Condren. And this is the first year I have been using it. So I started, I think, back in November. So it has been 3 months and I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm gonna link it down below in case you are looking for a planner. I also have a video on the review of this planner, how I use it as a working mom. So I'm gonna link those down below. So the very first thing that I'm going to be doing is looking at last month monthly planning. There is a spread that I used in my planning for January. So I wanna know how that worked out for me. Did I overplan? Did I underplan? Did I plan for the right things and change anything I want to change? And there are definitely a few things that I want to do differently this month. So last month on the left side, which is like a note section, is when I tracked my weight, something I don't want to share, that's why it's covered. But I decided that moving forward, I can do the daily weight in just on my weekly spread. By each date, I can just put a number, and that way it's gonna free up that one page for me in a monthly planning. The reason why I was tracking it on that side is because I just simply didn't have any idea what I want to do with that page. Now, I do have an idea right now. So what I'm going to be using that page for is for my priorities. So last month, those are the goals and priorities I had for the month of January. So a lot of things checked off, not all of them, which means I was either too ambitious or I was slacking off, right? One or the two. So I tend to overplan. That's one of the things I have to be very careful about. So what I mean by that is that I tend to plan more things that I have time for. Now, the good thing about that is that I don't get down on myself too much if I don't finish something. Clearly, there was a lot of things that I planned to accomplish in January. So what I am doing right now is looking at that and seeing, okay, I haven't finished that digital declutter. I have not finished creating my digital product, and I did not get the passport application in like I have planned on doing. So those things are simply gonna move to the next month. The rest of the things that I have here is, on the top we have the holidays, then we have a quote for the month, and then quotes from the book that I am reading in that particular month. So that's usually a personal development book. Really enjoy those things. So those things are gonna stay. What I'm gonna change for February though, instead of having all the goals listed on the main page, I'm gonna divide them up. Just like I divide my weekly planning into section, I'm also gonna divide priorities or goal planning for the month. So during the week, I have sections for work. I have a section for household, so anything like cleaning, organizing, any activities that we have with the kids. Then I have my side business, which is this YouTube channel and a blog. And the last section that I have is for family time and self-care. So instead of having all my kind of priorities and goals for the month in this one little section, when they're kind of all together, I decided that for February, I'm just gonna, divide them up. I'm gonna use that empty page on the left and kind of put my priorities on that side of the planner. So it's just easier for me when I'm planning for the week to kind of reference back, okay, what were my priorities for the month? And it makes it easier to plan ahead for the week. So the way that I think I'm gonna divide it up, and again, we're gonna evaluate at the end of February whether that has worked for me or not, is on the right side, I'm gonna include basically my goals and priorities for the house. And on the left side, I'm gonna divide it up into the other sections. And that is simply because I think for the household, those goals are pretty stable and it's something that I usually have the most on because it's, it's cleaning, it's organizing, so I have specific projects in mind. For things like work, I do have priorities, but I know I'm going to be kind of adding or taking out or changing because it's work. So things change all the time. For family and self-care, those things, like for self-care, are things pretty stable, meaning they don't, or I should say consistent. They don't really change that much from week to week. Things like, taking a bath or reading a book. For family, those are the ones I don't necessarily plan a month ahead. I have some ideas, but I'll put the ideas and then we can kind of choose from them. We don't have to do all of them. So that's why I think it makes most sense for me to use the one on the right for household because they're not gonna change that much. The ones on the left, those are the ones where I'm gonna be more flexible with.
I've been dreaming so much lately about your face when you're smiling. It's the
So let's talk about how we're gonna plan it out. So one of the things I didn't mention at the beginning, but the monthly spread that I have in my planner, that's what I am using to plan out my content for my social media, my content for my blog and YouTube. That's how I decided to use it last month and it worked out really great for me. So I'm gonna just use it again for this month as well. I know typically this is where people will put like the special events or holidays. I use it for my social media, so that's just how I use it. That's why on this section over here, that's when I'm gonna put like the special holidays, any birthdays that we have coming up, any holidays or days off, that's where it's gonna go.
I'm on cloud nine.
And the quote that I have chosen for this month is from Mark Twain, and it's "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." Because I think that's something that's very motivational. I do have a lot of like dreams and aspirations, and I want to do something, and we just forget that it might just seem so overwhelming and so big that it's just kind of scary. And it's that quote just reminds me, it just gets started step by step and you're gonna get there. But if you don't get started, you're never gonna get there. So that's the quote I have chosen for month of February. On the bottom, that's where I'm gonna use that section to capture any quotes from the book that I am reading. So last month I was reading a book by John Maxwell called Intentional Living. And this month I am very excited because the book I'm going to be reading is by Jamie Kern Lima called Believe It: How to Go from Underestimated to Unstoppable. I'm very excited about this book. I did sign up to be part of her launch team. It's not something that I'm doing because I am a blogger or I'm here on YouTube. It's something that anybody can do. And as you're watching it, if you want to do it, just go on any of her social media. I'm gonna link it down below and you can be part of the team as well, which means you get to read the book before it is released in the middle of February, which is actually coming up pretty soon. So I am very excited because I did watch her speak during the Business Boutique in October. She is absolutely amazing. She's very inspirational. She is the person who is the founder of IT Cosmetics. She just described kind of her journey from basically trying to stand up that business, and the amount of obstacles that were thrown at her is absolutely amazing to really know that she is a success story at the end. So I'm very excited to read that book. So this space is reserved for any quotes, any messages that that's gonna resonate with me the most, and I want to capture them. So next we're gonna capture those goals, the goals and priorities for the month. Some of them are gonna be the ones that are kind of a reoccurring ones. Like for example, in January, I had to follow I had a goal to follow a 2B mindset, which is like the way to really look at food, how you're consuming it, how you're choosing what you're eating. So that's something I want to do again in February. For my side business, going to be things like posting 2 videos a week and posting 1 blog post a week. So they're going to be recurring things, and some of them are going to be like the bigger things. So you're going to see that for my household goals, some of them are the ones that I didn't finish in January. So it's going to be the decluttering of my digitals, files, so basically my laptop and my email. And some are going to be newer ones. One of the things that I want to do in February is to organize the closet space in my daughter's bedroom, making sure that all her hair accessories are there. So that's going to be like the bigger project that I have for household. So as you are planning for the month, those are the it's easier to really think in those categories, and that's why I have switched or decided to switch for this month to try to have my priorities organized into those categories. So for home, that's going to be any cleaning projects that I have, any decluttering, organization, any budget specific goals. Maybe you are saving for something, maybe you want to pay off a specific debt. Those are the things that will go into that household section. For my work, it's basically any big projects that I have, any priorities, deadlines. Thinking in those terms, again, it might change, but at least you have an idea going into the month. What do you want to concentrate on? For the side business, if you don't have a side business, maybe you do volunteer for a specific organization. Maybe you have some big events that are coming up that require, some actions to be completed or some tests to be completed in the next month. So that's the section that I would create if you have one. If you don't, it's just something that you don't have to worry about, right? Then for family and for self-care, this is where I would put, if I want to get a haircut, if this is a month where I'm going to go get my hair done. Or maybe you want to treat yourself to a manicure or pedicure. Maybe you do need to, we're trying to get into a habit of reading for pleasure. Or maybe you want to watch a show or a movie. Put it on. So it's kind of a good reminder as you are looking through your calendar, through your planner on a weekly basis to see, well, I really wanted to see that movie. When can I do it? So then you can put it into that weekly schedule for yourself. And this is also where, you can put things that you want to do as a family, whether that is visiting a local museum, whether that is going, we are going to go later today, do some sledding, because clearly you can see behind me there's snow, and we're actually expecting a big snowstorm again starting this evening. So things like that. So it's not necessary that you need to absolutely complete everything, but it gives you an idea of things that you can do when the weekend comes around. Maybe you need to plan something, maybe you need to buy tickets, something for you to kind of think ahead so you're not scrambling for ideas at the last minute. So that's all for today's video. Hopefully you found it helpful and it helps you kind of organize your thoughts for the month of February so you can be more productive and you can manage your time better as you are going through the next 4 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed, and I will see you next time.
I don't wanna be without you. This is something that I know for sure. It's just something about you. I just want more.